Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, Hellblazers, wherever you are. This is Chris Gordon on Ramblings of a Hellblazer on the one and only Millhouse Mix, bringing an eclectic music mix of philosophical and positive vibes through to zany impressions. I'm going to keep this short today because I bring to you something we've all been waiting for. She's been an active Hellblazer, keeping us informed and in high spirits in the Twitter rooms, and become a friend to many of us. She comes to us from LA, where she is currently production assistant on The Voice. Previous titles have included the originals and, of course, our beloved Constantine. So, Hellblazers, tonight I bring to you the delightful Miss Hillary Brant. So, Hellblazers, here we are with Hillary Brant. Hillary's had a great start to her career so far, having been in musicals and appearing in several shows, including Constantine, the one we all love. And she's also been a production assistant throughout Season 1 on Constantine, as well as on the originals, being Mary Jane, and currently working on The Voice. She's got an armada of supporters within the Twitterverse, and I'm sure elsewhere too. So, hi Hillary, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Okay, I've got a list of questions that I'm sure you've seen. We've just said you've seen. We're happy to go through them. So this has all come from the guys in the Hellblazers themselves, who are all interested to find out more about you. So I'll start off. I've got some questions about your own personal career, etc., and then I've got ones based on Constantine themselves.
All right, let's do this.
Okay. So Les Miserables is my favourite musical of all time. Who did you play in it, and did you enjoy the musical? And when did you do this?
Okay, so I performed in Les Mis probably, I think, when I was 18.
All right, cool.
I played a prostitute, which is funny because I'm not like that kind of person, but it was a blast. And I think, because I don't have a particularly strong solo singing voice, so I auditioned for like all the main women parts, but obviously if you can't sing that well, you get stuck with the prostitute role. But I also played like someone at the wedding, so it wasn't like a prime role, but it was a blast, and our set was amazing.
Ah, cool. Yeah, I do love that. That was Lovely Ladies, isn't it, that song?
Yes, it was.
That's one of our favourites. Used to sing that at uni down in Wales. Me and my friends were absolutely mad about Les Mis, so Lovely Ladies was one we used to sing to our female friends just to wind them up.
It's a fantastic musical. I actually saw it on Broadway back in November. Again.
Wow. I think I've seen it. I think me and my wife went to see it how many times? I've seen it 2 or 3 times now as well. It's just amazing.
It's incredible.
It does. It draws up so much emotion. What did you think of the film?
I was unsure about the casting when I first heard about Anne Hathaway, to be honest. And then I watched it, and she deserves all the credit in the world because she did an incredible job. The film was great. I can't watch it without crying.
Likewise. You're not alone there.
But yeah, I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it was. I think I've got the same feelings as the cast. When you heard about the cast, it was like, really? And then,
yeah, I was very confused.
Yeah.
And I also wondered, like, can they all sing?
Oh, I know, yeah. I mean, I was surprised. I mean, Hugh Jackman, I knew he'd been musical before, but he just blew me away. And Russell Crowe as Javert. I was just...
Yeah, they were all incredible.
Yeah, really, really good. Anyway, enough about that. So I told you it's my favourite musical. I could talk all night on that just alone. What made you choose this career within the film industry?
Whenever anybody asks me this question, I always refer back to one memory. And it's when I first discovered the DVD features on, like the special features on the DVD.
Okay.
I was like 12, and I was watching like Peter Pan or something. I don't know what it was. And they had the special features, and it was like how it's made. And for some reason, my mind was like, hang on, I can do this? Like, this is a job. People can make movies, and it's that fun. Like, it looks like a blast.
Cool.
And I know as a kid, I was the shyest kid ever, and I was kind of hard to deal with because, like, when I didn't want to be in a photo, like, I just turned my back. And I know that my mom told me a story about, like, we had a play when I was about 12, or not 12. I was thinking second grade. I was in second grade, and they wanted me to be like a tree or something, and I was said no, like I would not do it. I refused. And my mom even tried to bribe me with like dolls, and I just was like no. And so they made me do the lights. So I
Cool.
flicked the lights on and off. But yeah, so I didn't really realize that it was something you could do until then, but I obviously couldn't get into it. I remember when I was, I'm gonna say about 11. No, it was older. It was like when the second Harry Potter movie came out.
All right, okay, yeah.
So I must have been like 13. I don't even know.
Oh god, now I feel really old. But yeah, sorry.
I don't know how old I was, but it was whenever the second Harry Potter came out, and I realized that you could be an extra in movies.
Yeah.
So I mailed like little cutouts of my face to the Harry Potter studios. And I said, I want to be an extra. And they were so cute. They actually mailed me something back that was like, that was a very nice attempt, but you're not English, so we can't have you. I was very surprised that they even responded, but it was a turning point.
All right, that's cool. I remember, that's just really interesting. I remember when I was young, we had, do you remember, I mean, this is going back a long time, First Night with Richard Gere, Sean Connery?
No.
King Arthur. Oh yeah, I told you this stuff. Now I feel really old. They filmed in Wales, not too far from where I live. And I remember I was about that age, and I wanted to go, and I wasn't allowed to go. They were looking to film for extras in that film because it's something I really wanted to do when I was younger. I was in school musicals, and I was in one, and I got pulled out by my mum and dad. They went in to see the headmaster and pulled me out of the musical because they said it would have. Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, the principal. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, they went to see him and pulled me out because they wanted to. They said it will interfere with my exams, even though drama was one of my topics. So I was always gutted about that because I was lead role in the musical as well, so I wasn't happy.
Wow.
But I did carry on. I did a pantomime dame, and that was the funniest thing I've ever done. But enough about that. I digress. This is all about you. So. The next question was, is this your career, what you really wanted to do, or did you dream for another? But you've just answered that. From a very early age, it sounds like this is really what you wanted to get into.
Yeah.
So yeah, well,
pretty much,
we'll kind of skip that one. The next one I've got here is, do you dream about your future, past, or your present more?
Okay. It's probably my future when it comes to dreaming. Are you talking about literally dreaming, or do I think about?
Think about, I think that's what it means, sort of, yeah.
I figured that's what you meant. Probably my future because, I mean, I think about the past sometimes, but it's not something that's always on my mind. And I think the reason why the future is always on my mind is because it's so nerve-wracking for me, and it's so like I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen, and I'm nervous, and I'm always kind of on my toes because I never know when the job is ending or when another job is, it's always, I'm always a little on my toes, so I'm nervous about my future. But if I'm just secure in my job for like 6 months, then it's definitely the opposite. It's definitely more in the past about like past jobs I've done.
All right,
but it's funny because as soon as you walk onto set, most people are like, I know you. Where do I know you from? And not me. Like everyone does this to each other.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, I don't know. What'd you do last year? And they're like 27 things. Because you're always on different sets. So then you're like, okay, was it? And then you list like 10 things. I'm like, no, maybe. It's like we don't know how we know each other.
Well, you said the other day,
crazy.
You said the other day you bumped into someone from one of your previous productions that you've been on. I can't remember which one it was. I'm sure you said you bumped into him.
I don't remember either.
I can't. I've slept since then.
I have a short-term memory right now, sorry.
That's all right, yeah. Again, vodka does that to you.
Oh, yes, it does.
All right, cool. Next question is, if you were to write a book about your life up till now, what would you call it?
Oh, I've read this question. I didn't know. I couldn't find a funny answer. In my head, I just went like, um, I had something. It was like um, that's a really hard question because I, you said up till now?
Yeah. Well, you're only 25, you know. So you have to...
I mean, yeah, it's hard because I would title it something along the lines of like a confused 25-year-old. Like the confused mumblings, because I would write daily, probably daily thoughts and past experiences and tie it all together somehow. I don't know what I would call it. That's a tough one.
Yeah, you can steal my title if you want, Ramblings of a Hellblazer. That's what I call my
That's a
podcast.
good
Yeah, there you
one.
go. Since you're
That's
an
a good
avid
one.
Hellblazer.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But yeah, no, that sounds cool. So yeah, a confused 25-year-old.
Yeah, I would have to add something else in there, but
That's
yeah.
alright. Yeah, you're still young. It's, I think that's a question most people ask when you're like, you're my age. Or a bit older. Alright,
Yeah, I
cool.
don't have much to write about yet.
Exactly. Cool. Radio. So this next one is, I think we all know the answer to this because you've mentioned it, but have you ever travelled outside the US? And where would you love to travel to outside of the United States?
Oh, I love this question. Okay, so let's see here. When I was 15, I did a mission trip to Costa Rica, and
Interesting.
that was fantastic. I loved it. It was through uh, People to People. That's what it was called, and it
Alright.
was one of the best experiences. And I didn't really know a lot of Spanish going into it. I just took like my first year of Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't really, I mean, these people didn't speak English, but you didn't really necessarily need to know how to speak Spanish to be
Yeah.
there. We were just kind of teaching them different things and a little bit of English and games, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, that sounds great.
Other than that, when I was 17, I went on a little Euro trip to, we went to France, Italy, Switzerland, and Austria,
Oh, nice.
and that was gorgeous. I honestly, I do think that I should have gone maybe at 19 or 20 because then I would have appreciated it more. But at the
Uh-huh.
time, I was kind of like, oh my God, like so overwhelmed that I don't think that I took it all in properly. And also the group that I went with, it was very almost like they took us to Hard Rock, like when we were in
Yeah.
France. And it was it was a little confusing. I was like, I want French food. But it was a fantastic experience. And then obviously, that I studied abroad in Leeds for 6 months.
A bit different to Switzerland and Austria.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I fell in love with that city. I'd go back tomorrow if I could.
It's not a bad city. Very multicultural up there, isn't it? And
Yeah, it is. And you just feel special. Like, I don't feel special here, but like when I'm over there, if I'm on the bus or something, somebody would say, hey, are you American?
yeah.
I was like, yeah, why? Or we went to see Perks of Being a Wallflower in theaters over there.
All right. Yeah.
And my friends were looking at me the whole time and asking me, like, is this how American high schools are? And I was trying to answer genuinely, but like I went to a Catholic high school, so I couldn't really. I was like, kind of, but it's kind of pushing it. But at the same time,
Yeah.
it's interesting. There's the dynamics and the difference.
All right. Cool. Yeah. I mean, I've got to say it's the same. It's. I think that's no matter which culture you're in, because I think for us over here, we've got a fascination with you guys, Americans, wherever
Yeah,
you go in
we're
America.
boring.
And then you come over here, and it's like you're just hit with all the culture, everything as well, and you just sort of fall in love with the culture over here. It's just it seems to be wherever you are, you always love the other culture better.
Yeah, and a lot of British guys can cook. That's something I did notice, and I found it very strange because if I asked my American guy friends to cook, they would look at me and be like, "Are you kidding me?" I just ordered like Subway. What are you doing? Like they would not. And maybe they know how somewhere back in the deep depths of their brain, but they definitely don't show it.
Yeah, can't cook, won't cook. I think is they've got a TV show over here called that. Some
Oh,
can cook, but they won't, or they just can't do it. But yeah, no, I can't say I've noticed that, to be honest. I'm not brilliant at myself. I think I can get some mince together, a lovely mince dish, and that's about it. I can put chicken in, I can put microwave on. That's about the limits to my cooking.
Yeah, I can do that too.
All right, cool. If you could go back in time, then what one piece of advice would you give to your younger self?
Ooh. Um, that's hard.
It is, considering you're still young, so.
I know, I'm trying to think of which age I would give myself advice. Um, okay. I think what I would do is I'd go back to my first year in high school because that's when I joined the theater program.
Okay.
And I would reassure myself that this is not the end of the world. Because my drama teacher, although she was wonderful, she was very, I don't know what the word would be. When she said something that was like, you need to do better,
Mm-hmm.
it was very stern. And I felt like it was an attack. Like I was so young that I also didn't believe I knew what I was doing anyways.
Right, very
Which I
disparaging, I
didn't.
think,
I
isn't
mean,
it?
I was like 15, so I
Yeah.
had no idea what I was doing. But yeah, she would say stuff and she'd be very curt and very almost a little rude, but at the same time it was kind of what you needed to jumpstart your performance.
Uh-huh.
So I just remember like crying over stuff she'd said, and I wish I could kind of go back and be like, "Hey, like suck it up." Like you'll be fine. You're going to like do all these different shows and you're going to work on stuff, so you'll be good.
Yeah, no, that's cool. You're right. I think when you're that age, everything, you do get teachers and like that, but at the time you don't realise that, they actually probably mean well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that some of them have certain styles. But yeah, no, that's some good advice you could give yourself. But it's not done you any harm, has it? Really?
No.
Cool. Right. Okay. Now this should be a bit of a fun one. What is your most embarrassing moment?
Oh, geez. I read this and I was like, I don't even know.
You can't remember because you were on too much vodka last night. You might have done one last night.
All right. Most embarrassing moment. Because nothing stood out when I read the question. I couldn't think of one thing. But for some reason, for me, I have no idea why this is, and I've never met anybody that agrees with me. I get abnormally embarrassed when my umbrella turns inside out.
All right. Okay.
And I don't know why, but every single time it happens, like I don't blush normally, but I get so red. And it's only happened to me like twice. And I get so red and I get so flustered and because I can't flip it like back and I get so anxious and it kills me and I don't know why.
I'm so sorry, I shouldn't be laughing.
It gives me anxiety.
Oh god.
And it's like the only thing that'll do that besides obviously being like on stage. It scares me a little bit, but it's not, I don't know why it scares me so much.
Yeah, being on stage doesn't
It's
scare
so
you as much as
strange.
when your umbrella inside out.
It doesn't. I know that sounds crazy, but I guess it's because I'm more used to performance. But
Yeah.
for some reason, and I crack up every time it happens to somebody else. I don't get embarrassed for them.
Oh no, yeah, Schadenfreude, laugh at everyone
For
else's
me.
misfortune.
Because it's something I can do nothing about unless I look absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, that gets me.
So that's quite amusing. So everyone just remember, if you're out with Hillary and she windy day and your umbrella goes inside out, just stand back and have a good laugh. Take as many pictures.
Yeah, I think I'm the only person in the world that feels that way.
Oh god. Okay. Do you believe in angels and the paranormal? This is a deep one, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I outright believe in anything. I want to. That's the thing. Is like I'm the girl that goes on all the ghost tours.
Mm-hmm.
I love ghost tours. I love haunted places. I love kind of feeling it out, and it's. I love the stories and the history behind it all.
Yeah.
But I've never really actually felt anything, or actually, I thought I saw something one time, but it's more of like I don't believe that I think they actually exist. However, Cheryl does, and her family, which I found interesting. Her mom thinks that she had a poltergeist in her last mansion. I know,
Oh god.
which is appropriate sounding because they had huge. Their mansion was used on like The Addams Family and like a ton of movies.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, when I first got there, they had a printout. They were like, "Here you go, you can keep it," and they printed out like an entire list of the movies
Oh my God.
and the TV shows that it had been used in,
Oh,
which
that's
is
cool.
crazy. Yeah. Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that I believe in it, but I would love to if it were, you know.
Yeah, so you've not really had any sort of
I'm kind of
anything
a
to
see
make
it
you
to
believe.
believe it person.
Yeah, I appreciate. I know that. I'm kind of the opposite in the way that I've not been on any ghost hunts, but I do believe that I'll just treat you to one little thing. I know. Sorry. when
Go for it.
when my dad passed away, it was very very freaky. We had I was obviously with him at the time, and it was a tragic and horrendous time. There was one part he was just lying. He was pretty unconscious, but he kicked his leg. And so we just let him, you know, you're playing football with Ethan, who's at the time was only 3 years old, he's my son. And he sort of grumbled, thought nothing of it, we just sort of chuckled. And, you know, after he passed away that night, the following morning, I went home, and I was in the car with my son and my wife driving down, and I was told that Ethan had woken up and was upset during the night. And so it's like, right, okay, so it worked out, it was very, very, very much at the same time as this sort of happened, because we were clock watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said to him, I said, "Oh, right, okay." I said, "Did Grandpa come to see you last night?" And he just turned around, he was like, "Yeah, he came to play football with me." And apparently my wife said I just went pale as a sheet. She wouldn't have believed me if she hadn't seen my reaction in the car. He was only 3, they'd never even talked about, soccer. Football, so you know what it is, but yeah, you know, they'd never even talked about it in their life before. And he just came out and he goes, yeah, he came to play football with me.
Wow.
And it was like, whoa. It was just, there's a few moments after that, there's a few things happen as well where we think he's visited and stuff, but yeah, I'm a firm believer in it, although I've not been on any hunts as much as we want to go on them. Yeah, I've never actually been on the hunt, but that kind of experience was like, okay, yeah, now I believe fully.
Yeah, I mean, and if stuff like that were to happen, I think that it would change my perspective indefinitely. I feel like children definitely have I don't know what the word would be.
It's like an extra sense, isn't it?
Yeah,
I guess,
it's like they don't have all the doubts yet, so I feel like
yeah.
they always have like those little premonitions and stuff, and I don't know, it's interesting. I have no idea how it all works or what's out there and what's not.
No, yeah, I think children are more innocent, without any bias or anything like that. Also, that's my microphone. Any bias or anything like that they've been given, so yeah, they have more of a sensory adaptation.
Yeah.
I think that's the right thing to put towards it. Anyway, but yeah, no, it's that's I do definitely, yeah, there is something out there. After working on Constantine, you should know that too. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'll move on to the Constantine questions now because I've been keeping you up far too much. So,
That's okay.
You've alluded to having a great team on Constantine. What's going to be your favourite moment from working on the whole show?
Whew, that's a tough one. Wow, I don't know if I can put it into one moment.
The whole thing was just an awesome enough experience, was it? I mean,
it was
like
hard
it was
as hell, but I loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
The best moment. Oh, I think the ice bucket challenge was pretty fun. Being soaked after that was not that fun. And still having to go back to work because it was on our lunch break. So
oh god, no.
We had been told, they put it on the call sheet the night before, everybody bring an extra pair of clothes. We're doing an ice bucket challenge. But I didn't know that I would have to organize it. So when I got to work, Patrick, he's the second AD, he was like, "Hillary, I need you to organize the ice bucket thing. Just figure it out." And I was just like, "What?" He goes, "Here's a list of things you need to do."
Oh, right,
He gave it to me, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I went to the production office, and I got all this huge pallet of buckets. And I had to get it over to the other stage because it's like across the street. So I got somebody with like a crane or whatever they're using. I don't know what construction stuff is called, but they picked it up and they drove it over there. And then I had to go to Walmart to buy bags of ice. And I remember, like, usually what would happen is if we were on set, I would, do runs
Uh-huh.
for, usually it was for Matt, but
Yeah.
I would pick up people's dogs and drop them off at their apartments, and I would pick up cigarettes for Matt and Charlie, and and one time I picked up, I think, some like really expensive tequila for a present that Matt was giving to one of the directors. I don't remember which one. And so I had to run and get about 10 bags of ice.
Uh-huh.
So Patrick gave me his card, and then when I paid for it, it wouldn't go through.
Right.
So the guy charged it accidentally, like 4 times.
Ooh.
And he was like, it's not working. It locked up the card. So I had to get a ride all the way back, get my own card, and then come all the way back and pay for it.
Oh, God, no.
And I got all the ice there within like 10 minutes of the challenge. And the news, like Channel 11 or 11 Alive or whatever, was out. And we were rushing. We were throwing the ice in the bucket and, like, putting him out there. It was me and one other person. And then I didn't think anybody would do it because it was optional. And Angie was like, I can't do it because they'll kill me if I like get my hair wet.
Oh, God, yeah.
They'll have to redo all of it.
Yeah.
Charlie was like, I'll pour water on somebody, but I don't know if I'm going to do it. And then Matt was like, I don't care. They'll fix my hair. So
Typical Brit, that, isn't it?
yeah, it was like, they'll do it. It's short, like whatever. Because we had about an hour after that for him to get all ready.
Right.
But that was a blast. And I remember this is actually a funny story. When we did Harold's, we weren't recording at first.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
So we kind of like had to refill the buckets up.
Oh, no. Poor guy.
And then record, but it was really funny.
Yeah, I'm sure he loved that.
Yeah, he was like, I have to do it again. But yeah, it was great. I love that. But really every moment, like I can't put it into a specific moment.
All right, cool. It does seem like a great. I mean, from the talking to you, when you've been in the rooms on Twitter and stuff, and the experiences you've shared, it seems like there was such a close and fun cast to work with and crew as well. You really make it want. You sound endearing to to want to do something like that.
Yeah, I think it's just because you really spend about 12 to 18 hours a day, every day with each other.
Yeah, it's kind of more family. You get to sort of become your temporary family, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I remember the first time I met everybody, I think, because I was on the pilot. So when I first met Matt, I mean, I was actually a stand-in on the pilot.
Yep. Okay.
So I was standing in for Lucy and photo doubling for her.
Right.
And Matt came up and was like, "Hey, I'm Matt. Nice to meet you. What's your name?" Like he was very, up and positive and excited, and it was very cool. And then Angie came in later, of course. Mm-hmm. And then Charlie. I don't remember exactly meeting Charlie. It's interesting. I should, but I don't.
I was going to say, he's quite imposing enough to remember, isn't he? 'Cause,
he is. I don't remember I'm going to have to ask him. I'll let you know.
All right, cool. Yeah, we'll come back to that one. Yeah. Another time. All right, I'll skip a question and I'll come back to that because it kind of follows on from where we're talking about. Is the fact that you and is it Angelica or Angelica or Angie seem to have become great friends. Did you hit that off straight away when they came on set? Because you've obviously looking at you both now, you seem you're really. I mean, you're all really close, but you two seem to have really hit it off.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say we hit it off right away because I had to read her. When I first met her, I hadn't even met her yet. When I first saw her, it was when we were filming the episode with the Halloween.
All right.
The Halloween episode with the kid, because that was originally supposed to be episode 2.
Oh, okay.
But they switched up the order for some reason. I have no idea why. That's why she wasn't in that episode because she hadn't been hired.
Okay.
So then she was hired when we were filming that episode, and I saw her because she was in a, what do you call it? I can't think right now. What is wrong with me? I'm sorry.
It's all right.
There we go. She was at a table read.
Right. Okay.
So you know what that is, right?
Yeah, you just read the script around the table, yeah? Is that
Yeah,
right?
okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
okay. Sorry.
Yeah, she was at a table reading with Matt and them, and I remember feeling really intimidated.
Right.
Um, when I saw her for the first time, I was like, oh my God, like she's beautiful and she knows what she's doing and she's new to the cast. Everyone loves her, you know, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And I just was very protective all of a sudden of everybody else. I was kind of like, who is this girl? You know, like I don't
Mm.
know her. Um, and then I kind of warmed up to her because I was doing first team, so I had to take care of her anyways.
Yeah.
So, you know, I started asking her like, what do you want to drink? What do you want, you know, and I kind of learned how she was, and she's
Hmm.
absolutely hilarious. She likes to make a lot of like toilet humor jokes.
Sounds like
And
my
her
kind of
laugh
person.
is incredible. I think I have a photo of her laughing, like falling out of her chair,
Oh no.
somewhere on my phone, which is such a great picture, but I don't think she'd want me to put it up.
I was gonna say, damn, you should share that.
I know, I don't think she'd want it up, but she if she gets laughing hard enough, she'll snort, which is fantastic. It's the best thing ever when Angie snorts, and you can hear it like across set. So you'll be like, people would be like, "What's she doing over there? Like, what now?" Like, and I know
Oh, that's cool.
when she when we were filming, I think it was the last whatever the bar scene was. We were on the original stages for the bar scene between Angie and Emmett.
Right. Yeah.
I lose track. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Whatever episode that was, I think it was the last one or second to last one. We were on the New Orleans bar set,
Mhm.
and Matt fell asleep. He loves to fall asleep in his cast chair, so he fell asleep again, and he looked so like he didn't move. He just his head was down,
Right.
so I don't know how to describe this. Like he was sitting up straight, but his head was resting on his chest almost.
Yeah, I've been there. I know what you mean.
Yeah, and he was just passed out. And Angie found this hilarious photo of this like white boxer that looked really frumpy, like his face just looked
Yeah.
all crushed.
Mhm.
And they looked the same. So she put the phone up next to his face, and I was trying to take a photo, and then he woke up. Well, I just ran away. I was like, I didn't do it. But yeah, it's she's great. She's fantastic. She loves green apples. I would give her a green apple like every day, even when she didn't want it.
I remember you saying that. You're sending pictures of them, weren't you, as well?
Yeah, I sent her a couple emojis of green apples and said I miss taking care of her.
Oh, no, that's
But
cool.
she's just fantastic.
Oh, it does. Sounds. It's just very envious. It sounds great. Right, I'll go back. Actually, shall I save that one? No, I'll save that. Yeah, I'm going to save the other one till last, I think. So Matt seems a very mischievous person. Were there any other funny antics taking place, pranks, etc.? You've named a couple, but he just seems to be a mischievous type of person.
Yeah, there weren't really pranks. It was more of accents and impressions.
Uh huh.
Um,
Better impressionist than me.
oh my gosh, he's so funny with his impressions. And if I tested this out one time, I'm not sure if I've mentioned this before, but I do accents like
Okay.
whenever I would ask him stuff just for fun because I never really like to be serious. So
Yeah.
um, I just go up and be like, "Would you like a coffee?" Like just random accent, and and he would always mimic the same accent.
Oh.
Um, and it was hilarious. But there was this time when he does, I don't know what impression it is. It might be like an Al Pacino walk-in mixture.
Mhm.
And he would always go, Craig, like to our first AD. His name was Craig.
Yeah.
And he would do that when Craig was working, like inside the mill house, and Matt was sitting in his cast chair outside the mill house.
Right.
And he would just go, Craig. And he'd keep doing it until he got yelled at. Craig would be like, shut up, Matt. But the first, the pilot episode, he did the entire take. The one where he's talking to the security guard about the light bulb and Lucy's
Uh-huh.
standing back there. He
Yep.
did the entire take in like walk-in.
Right.
And I hope that they have that somewhere and that they release it because it was incredible. It was so funny because he didn't tell anyone he was doing it. until he did it. So like, and I don't know if Lucy actually knew what he was doing,
Uh-huh.
but it was such a good accent.
Oh, cool.
And then when we were on the roof, he did the Al Pacino. Uh, when he says something about Furcifer, and he's yelling at him. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and he just went Furcifer, and he went, "You got a great ass," and he said it in Al Pacino,
Oh, great.
and it was awesome. But other than that, I mean, there's not really pranks. There's just funny videos and funny, I don't know,
See,
just other kinds of stuff.
yeah, see, it'd be good like that because that's why we need a box set, at least a DVD box set with all
Oh,
these as
I
the little.
totally agree with you.
Yeah. Get all these extra little funny
100%.
film clips out there and put them on a box set for everyone.
Yeah, I really hope that could possibly happen in the future.
Yeah, so do I. That'd be brilliant. Okay, right, I'll start with. Go back to this one now. So you're in a burning building. You got Matt, Charles, and Harold. They're all calling to you to join them by the window. You've obviously dreading this question, aren't you? From what you say, they're all calling you to join them by the window to escape, but the smoke is overcoming you. Who races over to catch you before you fall? From what
This
you've
is
just said, they'll
hard.
probably just stand there and laugh.
Yeah, Matt's always been very protective. Um, so I feel like I would say it was him, but
hmm
the thing about that is that like Harold was only there when he had his scenes. Otherwise, he wasn't even in town. Like he
Ah,
didn't
right, okay.
stay.
Yeah, okay.
Um, I don't know, because sorry, the phone's ringing in the background. I don't know if you can
It's
hear
fine.
that.
That's alright, don't worry. I was looking
Um,
around my house then, thinking, hang on.
no, it's definitely here. I feel like Matt would probably be the first one to run over. I remember, I don't know if I should say this, but I remember when we were out one
Secret
night.
safe.
I know, when we were out one night, I was too intoxicated, and I we were at some hotel in Atlanta, and I like hopped over this railing,
hmm
and I was probably like at least 10, no, I would say like at least 10, maybe 10 stories,
Oh my god.
10 stories up, and I was just messing around
Yeah.
because I didn't, what is that noise? Okay, sorry. I was messing around because I was being stupid, and
hmm
I don't know. And he was on the phone with somebody, and um I think Neil was there too. He directed the pilot and the Halloween episode.
Right.
Um, my mind is going. Sorry. So I had hopped over the railing and I was like laughing and being stupid, and he freaked out and he ran over, grabbed me, pulled me over the railing, and looked at me and just went, "Don't do that again!" Like he was so mad at me,
I'm not
and
surprised.
I just remember being like, "Oh my God, why is he so mad?" Like I was so confused. But then another day I looked at the ledge and I was like, okay, that's why.
Yeah.
Because that was a really high ledge. He's like, don't scare me like that. Like he was
Oh
mad.
god. I'm not surprised. Yeah.
So I feel like it'd be him. But I don't know. I guess it's whoever gets to me first.
Yeah, well, I'd say it'd be him from what you've just said as well.
Yeah, I don't
10
know.
stories. What the heck? Yeah, God. And you said you haven't got any embarrassing moments from when you were drunk.
I'm sure they're in there somewhere. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah. I'm sure we've all got them somewhere. I've let a
Yeah,
few of mine
probably.
slip to the Hellblazers. Had them
Yeah,
laughing.
I'll have to think about that one.
Very carefully choose your words.
Exactly.
Alright, cool. There's only two. Is there two? Yeah, there's only two questions left I've got on here. You'll be thankful to know. So, what are your thoughts about the Hellblazers and the undying support that they all have for the show?
I'm continually amazed that it's still, that everyone's so supportive and in tune kind of to all of, I don't want to say us, but everyone
Yeah.
from the show. It's, I mean, it's something I've never personally experienced because I've never worked on anything with, much of a fan base, really.
hmm
Or rather, much of an online fan base.
Yeah.
Um, so it's been very interesting and a learning experience for me. But everybody's been very lovely and very very sweet, and I'm very thankful, to be honest, because I mean, it would have been a completely different experience if you guys weren't doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I know the cast definitely appreciates everything. I would, send out text reminders to them for the live tweet stuff. And
Cool.
I know Matt was a little lazy when it came to that, so I just sent him photos from my phone. Because that's what I had to do on set for him, was take photos. Like, I got the okay to take any and all photos, which is not normal at all. Like, normally it's confidentiality agreement. You're not supposed to take any, but he was like, just tell them I told you. Cool. And I used to take them on his phone, and then I just was like, screw that, I'm going to take them on my own phone so I can keep them.
Well,
so, yeah. I know that they're definitely very appreciative. Sorry. I don't know. It wouldn't have been the same experience without you guys.
No, that's cool. I'm sure everyone will be really sort of pleased to hear that, because the fighting's still going on despite all the setbacks that we get. It's the support is still there. There's some still diehard people out there who are really pushing.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe one day I will be able to go to a Comic-Con or something, and some of you guys can come out.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be great. I've told you can come to the Wales one.
I know. I just so far.
We'll get them to pay for you.
Yeah, I don't know if that would work. You can try. Yeah. I would gladly oblige to
I've been trying to get them to bring Matt back for November as well, and maybe one of the two of the others. So if they do that, you can squeeze along with them.
Yeah, you'd have to see about that, because I know his performances are still be going on.
Yeah, that's true. They probably wouldn't be able to get him. I've got to say, hand on heart, I only had a 30-second meet with him at the last time. Because of the
I know those things are so quick.
They are. It's he was sat down all day doing autographs and stuff. But I thought, because you have to pay, you're quite shocked, you have to pay £15 for the photo. Jeez. Or £15 for the autograph. But I didn't realise that. I thought if you paid £15 for a photo with them, you get that signed as well. But it wasn't. It was extra, and I was like, oh damn, I've just spent all my money on something else. So, I didn't actually go to get his autograph as well, but I've put pictures.
I think a photo's cool. I think if I'd rather have a photo than an autograph.
Yeah, I did as well. It was nice. The 30 seconds, he did seem to be genuinely surprised at how many people wanted to come and see him.
Yeah, that's true. He's very surprised by that.
Yeah, he seemed modest, and a very modest guy. I say 30 seconds, just say that yours was the best show I've seen on TV in the past year or few years, and he was like, cheers mate, thank you, really appreciate that. But I can't do his accent. Yeah. I've tried to do his accent and impression.
I can't do it either, and I spent so much time with him, and I cannot pin it down.
I know, if you heard one of my podcasts, it was hilarious. I was trying to do it. It's because you start out with a Welsh accent from Swansea, or you go a bit Liverpool-like because he'll speak like that, and then you turn into I'm John Constantine, mate. It doesn't work.
It's hard. It's very hard.
It's very difficult.
I know, like I asked him if he knew any Welsh, and he was like, and he used to say one thing. I don't know. Whenever he cheers at the table,
mm-hmm.
he would say something as like a Welsh cheers, but I don't remember what it was.
Not Yaki Da, is it?
Yeah, it was that.
Yaki Da.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I think that is Welsh for cheers, because you got Bore Da, which is good day. I can't remember.
Yeah, he used to say that
Welsh.
Sometimes whenever we'd like, cheers everybody.
Yeah, Yaki Da. Yeah, no.
And I was like, what is that? It's just like, it's a Welsh thing. He doesn't know any actual Welsh, I don't think, besides like a couple phrases.
Yeah, it's quite surprising because he's from Swansea, which is pretty Welsh.
Yeah.
You walk into a shop up here and it's very, it can be very. You can hear banjos.
I like the Welsh accent.
But
Matt's
nice.
he doesn't sound super Welsh, anyways. Which I find interesting because I listen to the people from like Torchwood, the girl.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
She sounds very Welsh, and her husband in the show. But I know that Matt doesn't really sound like that. It's weird. He
doesn't know. They come from the south. I mean, I met Eve Miles. I met her at the other one, Comic-Con as well.
Oh, I met her at Dragon Con.
She's ace,
and
isn't she?
Loved her.
She is so friendly.
She gave me a hug. I was like, you're not supposed to do that. Because I was like all excited. And I was like, can I give you a hug?
Well, as I was doing it, walk-bys, because we're not allowed to take sneaky, that's why I get away with paying, because I take sneaky pictures as I walk around of the people signing. And that's how I get my... Sorry, I shouldn't tell you this, should I? But yeah, no, I took
I'm
one
not
of
going to
Eve,
say anything.
yeah, I took one of Eve Miles. She had a queue a mile long, people waiting and been waiting for ages, and I just walked
Oh,
past,
that's
took a sneak,
crazy.
and she just looked up at me, saw me, put a big grin on, gave me a peace sign. So I was like, oh yes. I had to go and
Yeah,
pay for an
she's so
autograph. Then I thought
sweet.
she's so
There was
nice after
probably
me
not a lot of people in the Dragon Con line, but that's Atlanta for you.
Ah, cool. Right. Anyway, last question, and then I shall let you go. If you stay on, actually, but I'll finish up the call after, and you stay on for a bit, and I'll say goodbye then. So,
Okay.
if that makes sense, I can't edit that either, so that sounds really awful on an interview. Sorry. So,
It's okay.
if you were asked to go back to take part in season 2, would you jump at the chance? I think the answer I already know.
Yeah, hands down. And I know, like, the last couple weeks of filming, uh, Matt, Emmett, and Angie were all sitting in that giant black car, whatever that was, like an
Yeah.
SUV. And Matt was like, "Get in the car." I was like, "What?" Like, we're about to shoot.
Yeah.
He was like, "Get in the car." And so I told my boss, I was like, "Hang on a minute." And I got in the car. And I was like, "I'm gonna get in trouble for sitting down, first of all, and second for like being in here." And he was like, he turned around and he was just like, "Okay, we need to figure out what you're gonna do, because if there's a season 2, you have to come back. You know that, right?"
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And I was like, "Yes, I know that." And then he told me to move to LA, and of course that happened. So I think the only piece of advice I have not taken is make business cards.
Right.
But yeah, it's like they're very. It would be really weird if I wasn't there.
Yeah.
It would be one of those things where I don't care what job I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I would be like, I gotta do this, guys. Like it's a no chance thing. I'd have to be there.
No, that's a really cool thing to have and to think.
So yeah, hands down. I don't care where I am in my career. I'd go back.
Oh, awesome. That'd be brilliant. No, it really would be brilliant. It is, and that's what we hope that will happen one day. Is that one day soon, or at least one day, that would bring everyone of your cast and crew back together again
Yeah,
to entertain us with more. It would be brilliant. All right, cool. That's the end of the questions. I'll say if you hang on for a second. And so, Hellblazers, thank you very much. This has been Ramblings of a Hellblazer with the almighty, awesome Hillary Brant. And and I shall catch you all later. Thank you very much, and speak to you soon.